despite no one else seeing it, right? And for me, it was like, I see it very vividly. I gotta keep putting the pieces together. And then I just continued. I'm like very diligent in a sense where I'm gonna put one piece after another. And you know what's crazy? They started to see it.
And you know, when they dream about things, you can obtain anything you want what you're looking up for.
Appreciate you being here, both of y'all.
Yes.
And everybody out here too, man. Everybody looks fly.
Yes.
Take your time to come out in the cold. Much love. So yeah, man, immediately when I just touched down in Detroit, it's just like, you feel the presence, you feel the innovation, the history, like the innovators from Ford to, I mean, Motown. I mean, the list goes on. So just my first thing is like, how do you think this city has like shaped you? Yeah, just where you are for sure.
I'll kick us off. So I'm born and raised in Detroit. We were just talking about on the west side of Detroit specifically.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that, when I think about like how Detroit has shaped me, Detroit is the heart and soul of culture, innovation, which like ultimately like creativity. You mentioned like Ford, you mentioned Motown, and like being able to kind of be enveloped, like immersed in that. But also like that grit, that like the trials and tribulations, if you will, has really like formed me into the woman that I am today. And I sit here as like the CEO of a super innovative company that's doing things when it comes to like helping people turn their ideas into reality. I think that's one of the things that I've seen growing up in Detroit is like we have literally innovated from style, from like the coats we wear and how we come outside in the wintertime to like, you know, the glasses that we wear on our faces, the jewelry, everything from, I think when I think of style, Detroit has really been like in the forefront in innovation. And so for me, I just kind of have just been immersed in that. And it's just such an incredible thing. And I think the biggest thing for me is like, you know, like the people, the community that I've been surrounded by has really like kind of poured into that. And so it's like, it's easy for us to like innovate and do things and be different. And that was something that I just kind of leaned into. And so it wasn't too far-fetched for me to say, I'm gonna do something that's never been done before. I'm gonna create the world's first on-demand design and manufacturing platform. And we gonna make jewelry, right? And we gonna start it in the hood. And I'm gonna be surrounded by poverty, blight, and all of the things that, you know, from trauma to, you know, seeing things that probably you shouldn't be seeing. And I'm gonna turn that into something else. I'm gonna transmute it into something beautiful. And for me, like, that is Detroit. That is like, when it comes to like being able to turn something into something that's meaningful, turn it into gold, if you will, and put our own mark on it. As a Detroiter, that was something that was like, oh, okay. It fits. It's so like aligned with who I am. So.
Amazing.
Mom.
Click it.
There you go.
Hi.
Yes.
I mean, Detroit informs everything I do. Straight out of high school, I moved to LA.
Word.
And as I started meeting people, you know what I mean, I realized the difference, you know what I mean, work ethic and culture and appreciation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my dad a truck driver, you know what I'm saying? So if he can get up at 5 a.m. every day since I've been born and drive that truck, sometimes overnight, some days, you know what I mean, multiple days, there and back, put food on the table. And me making these clothes, me making these YouTube videos, you know what I mean? It's a happy life, whether it's working or whether it's not, you know what I mean? It's giving me, it grounds me. Detroit grounds me in that way. And I just always kind of wanted to come back home. I don't see anywhere else but Detroit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we out and I see rappers with buffs on, man, they know where they got it from.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to me, Detroit is the mecca. You know
It
what
is.
I mean? Everything stemmed from it, that's why we in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it'd be funny to me when people be like, I didn't know you was from Detroit. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't listen to me talk, you don't look the way I dress. You know what I mean? But like, for me, Detroit has always been like the heart and soul of me as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anything I do, has Detroit written in it somewhere. You know what I mean? Like from Joy and Borough, you know what I mean, on the west side. So like to be this person that kids come up to me and they're like, I look up to you, you know what I mean? For me that means a lot because I'm not only, it doesn't mean a lot to me specifically, but it means that like you care, like not you care, but it means that I'm doing right by the people that have sacrificed before me. You know what I mean? Like my dad and his work, my grandma, where she come from, being from Alabama, like the things she done seen. You know what I mean? So to me, whenever I do something well, I'm doing well by Detroit. You know what I mean? By way of Detroit. I think about born anywhere else, raised anywhere else, I wouldn't be who I am as a person. You know what I mean? I honestly don't think I would be as successful as I am if I wasn't from here.
Okay, yeah, nah, like, even like a common thread that I kind of heard through both of your responses was just that grit that really Detroit is giving you, and just, you know, it's the hustler mentality. So I'm wondering, like, how is that grit, how is that perseverance really, how have you had to use that in your business, in your personal life? I would say, is there an experience or a story that really was like, I had to get through something, it wasn't looking good, and you really had to persevere to kind of push forward? And I'm sure a lot of people here, everything isn't perfect right now, and they need to persevere through something.
Yeah. I remember I was like, I want to start a manufacturing company. I want to open up a manufacturing company. And I want to like make it tech forward. And then I was like, okay, I have to go to meetings. I have to I'm thinking about like building a whole tech company. And I did not have a computer.
Okay.
And I did not have a car to get to these meetings. So I remember telling people, I was like, I want to start a manufacturing company, and I want it to like really be rooted in technology, so it's gonna be tech, and I'm explaining what it is, and they're like, girl, you ain't even got a car or computer. How you gonna start a tech company, you don't even got a computer? And I think that's the thing where it was like, okay, yeah, I see that. I need to get there. I need a computer to start. I need to like figure this out. How do I afford to get that computer? And it was like literally like going from like zero to the person or like the vision that I have. And what I realized in that moment was, I think a lot of people will go straight from this vision of like, who do I need to be? Or like, where do I want to go? But they rarely ask, who do I need to be to get there?
Yeah.
You know, and that's different, right? So the person that I had to be to get a car, right? To like work. And that's where you were mentioning the work ethic. She works, okay? She work a lot. A lot. So you don't really see that. Maybe you see me on social media. You'll see like, oh, we're doing these things. We're doing this. We partnered with Billie Eilish and we're making her products. She's one of the fastest growing, hottest stars of the 21st century, number 4 on the planet.
Crazy.
And it's like, well, who do you need to be to get there? And that to me is like, okay, well, this is a whole different mindset. It's a whole different work ethic. I am working a lot. But also another thing too is like when I'm doing it, it's also with enjoyment. And I'm enjoying the process. I'm realizing that like even in the seat that I'm sitting in today, this is the seat that I prayed for, right? Like this, I am afforded this experience because I willed it. You know, I put in the work. I was very intentional and mindful, but I also sacrificed a lot. Like, you know, there was no like hanging out with like friends. I think I started when I was doing on this journey, I was 15 and I was like, I'm gonna start making stuff in this basement. Like, forget all of the stuff that's surrounding me and forget all of the naysayers or just this idea of like, you can't be something, you can't do something. I was like, I just need to build this world for myself. So I taught myself the process of creating jewelry. I built a casting operation. After school, I'm a high schooler. What was we doing at 15? You know, I was leaving school and going to work. And then I had 2 jobs. And so that was something where it's like me today as like grown up Karissma, like it's nothing for me to work because I've been working.
Yeah.
And so I have been putting in the work since I was very young. And then I bought my first casting machine. I bought a kiln. I built a whole casting operation in the basement in the hood. And I'll emphasize that because that's very different, right? And I think that's one of the things where it's like, you don't see it happening around you, that's fine, go for it, do your thing. And so for me, I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. People are like, you know what you doing in that basement? Like, that's what? And so I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna be different and do me, and then just, cause I enjoy it. And so for me, I was like, I just gotta like kind of push through. And despite all of the things and the struggle, she's continued to work and then like carry that vision forward. And so for me, I was like, you know, how do I like continue to like push forward to be the person that I strive and desire to become, but like the actual work to be that person is a lot of like sacrifice. It's a lot of intentionality. It's commitment. It's discipline. And those are all the things that like Detroit has like kind of like just being a Detroiter has instilled in me, like seeing my family work and just around me. It's just like, you got to make it happen by any means necessary, right? And so I went from that process of teaching myself this process of creating products, and did so at such a young age. And by the time I was 18, I was showcasing my collections during Paris Fashion Week, which was crazy. And that was like, I'm figuring out how to get a passport so I can go to Paris. Like, it's like, I'm Googling how to get tickets to Paris Fashion Week. And, you know, and it was a whole entire like experience. But, you know, one thing led to another. I persevered. I stayed committed, even though it was like, this is different. This is weird. Like, you making precious metal jewelry, like, and then even the things where it's like the people around you, they're like, who do you think you are? Right? Like dealing with that and still remaining committed to the vision, even when no one else can see it. I think that is one of the most challenging things where it's like, it's in my head, I see it vividly, but no one else around me has that vision. How do you continue to press forward despite no one else seeing it? Right? And for me, it was like, I see it very vividly. I gotta keep putting the pieces together. And then I just continued. I'm like very diligent in a sense where I'm gonna put one piece after another. And you know what's crazy? They started to see it. And then it started to build. And now, you know, we're doing it from a global stage. And that to me is like, okay, well, I always say like, I thank the person, the younger version of myself, the young Karissma that persevered to be the person that I am today, to put in the work to be the person that I am today. And I think that's something that's like, you know, it's just, I don't know, I'm just very grateful for, you know, having gone through that experience of like, okay, I gotta get a car, I gotta go through and get a computer. That was not easy, right? But I wouldn't change it for anything because like I said, like I'm sitting in a seat that I prayed for. I'm doing the things I get to live this life and actually like enjoy it, even though it's really challenging. Like this is probably some of the hardest work that I've ever done. But it's also the most fulfilling. And I'm like, man, like I'll be running to work to do the thing that's never been done before. So.
All right.
If I could piggyback on what you said, well, I'm persevering right now, if I'm being honest. Like, the work be easy, you know what I mean? Like I identified myself with the work for so long. I've been working since I was 13. I mean, I have a clothing brand like since 7th grade. So like I know more about the work than I know about myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? I recently converted to Islam, and I recently been getting sober. You know what I mean? I would say that's my biggest perseverance right now in this moment is, I think about that a lot too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times people, it's opportunity cost. You know what I mean? Like that's probably one of the words that I learned really young that I think a lot of people don't really weigh in decision making. And then, you know, when they dream about things, because you can obtain anything you want out of the world, what you're willing to give up for. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't go to homecoming. I just went to prom. I ain't go to football games. Like I was the same as you. I'll leave school and go work. You know what I mean? I'll work a real job and go work on the things I want out of life. You know what I mean? So like by the time I'm 27 now, I've been working for 13 years. You know what I mean? On this specifically. And just why I say the work is easy is that like what I've been persevering with recently is to be who I need to be for the work to get further.
Ooh, you know what I mean? That part.
Like, I can't be drunk on Monday because I watch football and wake up and actually run a growing business. I can maintain a business because I know those things, you know what I mean? But the things that I want to grow into, they do. and I gotta give effort to that. You know what I mean? So what will I cut out? I'm like, you know what I mean? You got a diet, like the life diet. Like, what are you cutting out to achieve the dream that you want? You know what I mean? Like a lot of times we visualize what it is that we want. So like, what I do is, I think about the end goal, and then we work backwards.
Yeah.
So how did I get there? Okay, so I saved up this, or I learned this skill, or I did this, or I got contact with these people.
Yeah.
But like that's how you make the road, like pivot road. Sometimes we just look at what's in front of us. We won't ever get to the end we want. You know what I mean? So if you can visualize what you want to end up like, and then figure out what you need to be the person that you need to be. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of times you don't get the things that you're praying for because your hand's not big enough to carry you yet. You know what I mean? Like, so either you got to clear something off your plate to add more onto it and things like that. You know what I mean? But like, that's been, for me, like that's what perseverance is like. You know what I mean? It's like actually making those sacrifices. You know what I mean? And like sacrifices that are intentional. You know what I mean? Sacrifices that are beneficial, that you don't have any like animosity towards. I don't think sacrifice is a bad word. We sacrifice every day. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it was a sacrifice coming back home, but like the sacrifice, it was either I stay in LA and I miss my little brother's birthday parties, you know what I mean? I miss my niece, my nephew growing up, or I come back home and the sacrifice is what I'm not in LA no more, you know what I mean? So like that opportunity cost. It's like, what am I missing and what am I gaining? I weigh everything on the scale every single day. And sometimes it does get overwhelming, like when you think in that capacity, that much, but it's like, I said it on my Instagram story a couple days ago. Cause I wake up at like 4 a.m. every day to like pray, and I wake up, I go to the gym, then I go straight to work. I'd had a full day by 8 a.m. You know what I mean? But like, it's a lot of things niggas gonna do, but outwork me not one. You know what I mean? Like
that part.
You might be more talented, you might be more charismatic, any of that, but like when it comes to this work, I'm gonna work. You know, and that goes back to the Detroit thing too. You know what I mean? It's like we really hard working. Bro. We got 4 seasons. You know when it get cold outside, you strap that hoodie on and go to work. And it's like complete the mission to come back home. You know what I mean? So it's like it is bred within us to persevere. Just from the seasons alone, you know what I mean? So for me, perseverance is everything. You don't really get anything you want out of life without some hardship. You know what I mean? Like I'm very balance oriented. You know what I mean? So like I thank God for the hardships and the easy days. You know what I mean? Because like I wouldn't even know that day was easy if I didn't have a hard one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that part.
That's so true.
Yeah, to add to that, I think that one of the things that really stood out was like praying for the capacity. It's like, I want the thing, but it's like, no, let me make sure I got all my shit straight so that I'm prepared and ready for it. And then the piece of like balance, like I sit here today, I'm like I'm first day out from pneumonia and a lung collapse. So if you hear me coughing and I'm a little winded, that's why.
This is the first
And first day out. No, like actually like out around people. But that's the thing where it was like, I remember I was like, okay, like I had to like tell myself going back to the balance, like the work is it's just so innate. I was like, I'm ready. Like I feel great, got my meds, I'm feeling fine, you know? And then I was like, okay, wait, right, hold on, hold on. But I think that's the thing where it was like, for me, it's just natural to like get out and get to it and like turn this vision that I have in my head into reality. So it's easy to like put in the work, but it's like, okay, at the same time, let me pray for like the capacity. Let me like pray for like the well-being that I like the full abled body to be able to deliver on the things that I need to do. And so it is that balance. And so it's like, for me, it's like I have no issue with working. I think my challenge is like, okay, how do I balance that? Like, how do I make sure that I am taking care of myself and like making sure that I'm praying in the morning or going to the gym and doing all those things and not overworking, because what happens is it like starts to degrade your body and then you start, that immunity get low and then the lungs get tired, So that's the thing where it's like, okay, well, but I think every day beyond that still show up, right? And I think that's something that's like really key and important. Because once you get to that point of like, oh, nobody can outwork us. Like, it's not happening. Any day. I won't listen. Like, come on now. And so that's the thing where it's like, okay, for as people, as Black people specifically, I think it's really important to like look inward and look at like our mindset in our bodies, and making sure that like we're taking care of these brilliant people that we are. Like, and that's something that just is like, I'm so committed. That's another part of that like opportunity cost too. It's like, you working, all right, well, you work in that body as well. And so it's like, how do you balance that? How do you take care of the mental and the mindset as well? Because there's going to be the challenges that you have to fight through, whether it's physical, mental, or spiritual, to get to the person that you're striving to become. It's not an easy journey, but it's definitely there. Like, I think it's 100% worth it. Like, if you didn't, I love what you said about like, if you don't have the bad days, like, how do you know the good days are good?
Exactly, yeah.
Such a beautiful thing.
For sure. Mm-hmm. And is it like, because a lot of times, I mean, you can spoke about like working hard, or it's like, is there a phase where it's like you're overworking at all? Is there, when do you know when you have to find that balance? Because is it like a season in your life where it's like, okay, this season right now, I'm locked out away.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to, miss some birthdays. Maybe I have to, I'm not gonna be in the gym as much. Are you approaching it that way, or, I just want to kind of know about that, because some people would tell me like, oh, like, make sure you're not missing out on life by going after your vision, but it's just like, I mean, right now, I need to be focused right now because I do have a window to really seize this moment. So I'm curious if you had to approach life like that, and how'd you navigate that too?
That's challenging. Like, I don't think you achieve balance. I think it's a practice.
Yeah, it's not real. Balance it's not real.
I think it's a practice. It's like one day you might be a little bit more focused on the work and you're in that season, and another day you might be elsewhere. I think it is a practice. If I'm practicing, I'm mindful of those things, or mindful of the fact that it's like, okay, maybe I should spend a little more time with my family and my friends, like, and nurture that. I do think that it's important to have this like well-rounded sort of experience, but sometimes you fall off, and I think that's also a part of the process. It's a part of the journey. You get back on. Like, it is a process, and I think that like for me, I be like locked in, okay? And I'm like, I enjoy the work that I do. But another thing that I think that has helped me is integrating all of those things into my life. It's not like a separation of that, where it's like as a part of like my day, or just the full like life experience, I'm incorporating that. Like, in the middle of my work day, I make time to meditate. Right? Like, not like, oh, let me go meditate. Let me leave work to do this thing. No, I put it on my calendar, and my employees see it too. It's like, oh, 3 o'clock, Karissma's meditating, right? Sometimes, and also sometimes I might need to book over the 3 o'clock meditation, right? And that happens. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect. It's like I said, it's a process and it's a practice. But I think as long as I'm like continuing to like push myself and be, intentional and design my life, and like, I'm a creator. So I realize that I get to create the life that I want to live, and I get to tell myself the story of, this is how I want to live. So if you tell yourself that like balance is not possible, or you tell yourself that like one or the other, like, I'm telling myself all the great things, like, I want it all. Yeah. Like, I want to have the best friendships, the best experience. I want to have literally all of the things, and I'm willing to put in the work to get there. Right? So again, it's the same question that I ask myself in work, where it's like, okay, if I want to have the best of the best friendships, or the best of the best like experiences with my family, I have to ask myself, well, who do I need to be that? Right? Do I need to like maybe not take this thing and do that, spend time there? And I think it's just a conversation that I have with myself. It's a conversation that I have with God, and I'm like, well, who do I need to be today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same. I think balancing is the act. You know what I mean? Like, you constantly is doing back and forth. And the same with you, I integrated. You know what I mean? Friday is July prayer at 1 p.m. So like, they know at the warehouse, I work with my family as well.
It's tough, yeah.
But they know at 1 p.m. I'm gone. Don't text or call me, because I won't be there. You know what I mean? About like 2:30, you hit me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's just like at the gym, I'm gonna be up at a certain time. If I'm at the gym, you call me. If I'm at the warehouse, you need anything, talk to me. And then also too, kind of like pace. You know what I mean? You don't always need to be moving at 100%. You know what I mean? Like, we have a warehouse, and like, we just recently had Black Friday, so it was crazy. And like, it's the thing of like going back to you cannot work me. I got a homie, he like, best employee here, I work like 2 niggas. I'm like, we work like 2 niggas, I work like 4. And then so like we working and I'm moving and we doing all this and he like, I forget that like, you at some point did all this by yourself. So I'm like, yeah, I've been moving like at a certain pace because I need to make sure social is good, email marketing is good, SMS, and all of this. And then I also have, outside of the brand, I have TikToks that I gotta make and post and be in the comments and reply to. Like I have a lot of energy I need to spend in a lot of places, so I can't give 100 here. If you can give 100, then you'll help carry us to the finish line, you know what I mean? But I do think balance is kind of like a matter of who do I need to be today? You know what I mean? And then who do I need to be today 365 times turns out to who was I this year. You know what I mean? And then that's when you can reflect about who I want to be next year. And it's that. I was telling my friend Todd, was it you? I was talking about zooming in, zooming out. Like zooming in, zooming out, you know what I mean? It's like, I overthink a lot of anxiety, you know what I mean? And so sometimes in the wrong moments I zoom out. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I said the wrong thing, this person's gonna hate me for the rest of my life, Or like, you know what I mean? I might zoom out and just think about all these things that aren't in front of me. And then I need to zoom in, you know what I mean? Like, I'm at dinner with my family, it's a lovely event, it's great, having a fun time, it's cool. Yeah. And nothing else matters, you know what I mean? So in other times, it's like, okay, zooming out and thinking about where in Q4 I need to think about Q4, and I need to think about Q3 next year. You know what I mean? So like just finding when you need to be zoomed in and be present and times when you need to think about the future. I think that helps with the balance as well. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes we just plan out our whole week. You don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You really don't. So sometimes you just need to focus on the day. Yeah. And sometimes you do need to plan out your week because it's somebody's birthday in the middle. You know what I mean? So just what makes sense at what moment I think is the best way to balance things without it feeling like you leaning too far on either side. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah, and you definitely have a long-term vision and plan, but I mean, you have to attack the day for sure. Like in the moment, things need to get done.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You good.
And when you said that though, it made me think about this. I took acting classes when I was in LA. And a big thing about acting, I'm really great at improv. Not a favorite thing. But a big thing about acting is you spend all this time remembering the script. You know what I mean? Like we're acting on stage, so we're not like doing it in front of the film. I mean, in front of the camera and like that. But basically, theater, it's like you remember everything and you let it go the moment you're on stage. Because if I'm trying to remember a line after I messed up the line, I'm just gonna be stuck at the line I messed up. You have to go with the moment and wherever it takes you. You know what I mean? So there's a certain degree of like, what is it? Perfect practice. I forget what it is. Perfect preparation or something like that. But if I can prepare as well as I possibly can for today, I don't know what the day is going to bring me. But I can prepare, schedule everything out. But as soon as the day starts going in any direction, I have to either course it to a new direction, but as soon as it starts going in a different direction, it's not on the same path that I planned it to be. So just adjust to it. You know what I mean? I think adjustment is the most valuable quality a person has.
Yeah, it's key. And then when you talked about like a quote came to my mind about if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail.
Yeah.
So it just is like, that's something that like a mentor kind of told me, and it just, it's always stayed there because without a plan, even like biblically, it's like without a vision, the people will perish. And it's just like, so if you don't know where you're going, if you don't have a direction, if it's not written down, you don't have a map for your life at all. So, and I see even like Karissma, you really spoke about how you visualize first, like what you are living in now. And so is that like a daily practice of, is it journaling? Is it just how you're intentional with your words, I notice, how you speak to yourself, how you speak about your vision, how you protect your vision. And as I'm kind of speaking out loud, I'm wondering, are there times to where you have an idea, but you're not speaking on it too early because you need to protect the vision from maybe negative energy, things like that? How have you had to, has that been like a practice in your life at all too?
Yeah, I think I write every day. I'm a writer. And I'm even like taking it to the point of like, I call it like just scripting my life, right? Like, I'm like, what do I want, right? And I literally write that vision. I script it. And then it's like, okay, well, I love who do I need to be today?
Yeah.
Right? Because what I realized is that people think there's like, oh, the version that I want to be is so far away. Like, I want to get a lot more money. I want to get all these things I want to do. And it's so far away. But what I realized is that all you have to do is to take the step that person, that version of yourself would take.
Yeah.
And then over time, you realize you become them.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, I think about like the charisma that I want to be, or I call it the person that I strive to become. And I literally wrote this down. Where it's like, who is the charisma that I strive to become? And yes, I'm talking to myself in third person. I'm like, okay, well, who is that? And then I'm like, okay, well, if this is the person that I strive to become, who do I need to be today? Yeah. And I start to like walk into her shoes. And I think about it from that perspective, kind of like zooming out and not like being so like attached to that, like, you know, just being in it, where I'm zooming out and like, okay, well, what would the version of myself that I want to be do in this moment? Right? And then I just think about that and I act and I deliver. And so I'll literally write every day, every morning. I have my time, I have my coffee, I sit in my chair and just write, get it out, just journal, create, like start to like visualize the day that I want to have, but moreover, the person that I want to be in that day. And sometimes I might miss the mark. It's like, all right. But that's okay, you know, you continue to like push forward. And then I think like that's something that's really like helped me to maintain that vision, right? To like hold on to it. And I think like, I think naturally when it comes to like protecting the vision, I think it's like you have so much power in the words that you say and in your belief system. So what I do know is that whether or not somebody know what I'm up to, they can't get in the way of it. So it doesn't matter, right? So if someone knows something, I don't like, you know, does that make sense? Where I'm not really holding on to the vision because I believe somebody gonna take it away from me.
Yeah, not that either.
You know, it's like, God, like, don't play about me. You know, and I literally tell myself, when it's like, I am God's favorite. And I put myself on this like journey of like imagining. I'm a very imaginative person, okay? So I'll literally like tell myself, or even think of myself as God's ultimate creation. Or if I'm thinking about God as like a painter, right? And I am the piece of art. I want God to, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I want God to step back and be like, I did that. And so what that means is every day I have to show up to be the best version of myself and live this life that I've been blessed with. And that means like doing the thing that I imagined and dreamed of and becoming the person that I've always wanted to be. I'm gonna be my own dream girl, right? And then it's like, okay, well, who do I need to be through all of that?
Exactly.
And so I'll like hold on to the visions. I think I'm very intentional with like the things that, you know, we're up to. I'm also like a businesswoman. So it's like, there are things where it's like, y'all will know when the world knows, you know, and that's just how it is in a lot of the business that we do.
Yeah.
But I think I'm like really intentional about all of the things when it comes to like designing my life. But I think the overall knowing is that nobody or nothing can get in the way of what is in store for me. And I think a lot of creatives will be like, I don't want to tell people about my vision because it's too soon or too early. Well, that also could be you blocking your own blessing, right? I've shared things, and those things, like once I started to speak it into reality, even I said I wanted to start a tech company with no computer. How are we gonna do that? You know, but I started to say that, I started to speak it. And then even when I was getting something back that didn't make sense, we weren't on the same frequency. I said, I wanna start a tech company with no computer, and they said, how you gonna do that? And I said, well, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna do it, right? But then there was others that was like, oh, tell me about the tech company. Yeah. Right? Tell me more. And then I started to build those things, and over time became one of the handful of Black women in the state of Michigan in all of history to raise over $1 million for the company. So then it was like, okay, well, that vision started to grow, and that's because I actually started to like talk about it by design.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Words are powerful.
They really are.
Yeah.
They really are. I think that's something like, you have to be intentional yet impeccable in those things, but also just knowing that, like, I think it's a knowing too, because you might say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You gonna say the wrong thing. It's like, okay, I ain't mean that. I didn't mean it like that. let me run it back. But it's about your heart, and it's about like aligning that intention around the person that you are being. Because again, like you may not even have the language to articulate what the vision is. So you don't have the words. You learn those things over time. So it's like, words got power, but it's okay. Like you don't have it all together all at once in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the question.
I felt like it was about.
I went off.
I was listening to you. It was a bunch of games,
I went off
for real.
a little bit.
A bunch of it. But I think I'll put a pin in that, and I think it's more, even earlier, Mitri was talking about like, you have a warehouse now, you have a team that's your family, and it's like, it didn't just start like that. You said you've been grinding for like 20 years?
No. I'm 27. So.
Okay. It'll be 7 years, that's crazy.
Grinding all your life.
14 years.
14,
Yeah.
okay. So when did you know it was time to, like when did you know you needed a team? When it was time to delegate, like you can't do everything yourself, but there has to be a proper time for this.
I had a team prior, but it wasn't my team. I said like this past year when we got the warehouse, started doing everything in-house with the family. It's just me, my brothers, my mom, you know what I mean? It was two parts. There's survivors remorse. I'm in LA, nice whip, come home, you know what I mean? Like my brother's struggling with things we got going on, and my mom was like talking to me about things, and like I could give you baby, but like not that it's mean or anything like that, but like I also want to provide stability. You know what I mean? Like I can maybe not get a fucking chain, and that causes my brother and my nieces and my nephews to be able to like pay rent. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. That's what I give up, sure. You know what I mean? I previously had a manufacturer that was doing manufacturing, creative, and all of that. And it was just a bunch of white people, you know what I mean? Like Canadians that didn't really get the vision. They understood kind of like the keywords, like you matter, mental health, pop. But also like, it's a black-owned business. So our demographic is black. So like the emails gotta make sense, have a certain voice, and things like that. And I'll be honest, I wasn't doing it just because I got comfortable. You know what I mean? Like with somebody else.
Yeah.
It was delegated in that way. But then at a certain point, things didn't align with how I saw the brand be. And it was like, will you continue to like keep your feet up and just like collect?
Yeah.
Or will you get back in the field? You know what I mean? And like, you wanted to look a certain way, all right, if you feel like you're the person for the job, do it. You know what I mean? So that's when we got the warehouse, and that's when like, you know, it was just me. It was back to just being me. So like, I was with them for like 6 years. It felt like I was back in high school, driving the east side, to pick up shirts, get them screen printed, boom, and deliver. I used to deliver hoodies around Detroit, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like I was back there. It felt like none of the work happened. It felt like we was right back at square one, and that was beautiful. It didn't feel bad. It felt beautiful that I could start over again. You know what I mean? And like, teach skills to my people. Like at the end of the day, like my brother don't want to work here, he can put me on his resume. That's more valuable than me just giving him money.
Facts.
So it always been time to delegate. It's just me. It's just me being able to trust. You know what I mean? Like being able to trust people with my baby. You know what I mean? Like it's like trusting somebody to babysit your child. You know what I mean? Like my lead is where I need to know that you'll take care of how I would. Like I tell my brother all the time, like, he's like, you ain't been to the warehouse in a minute. I'm like, when you see me, that means you're not doing good. Like, when you see me in this fucking warehouse, when I don't want to be in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the car, you know how to take care of everything. I trust you. But it took me having to trust, you know what I mean? Like, that someone cared about it as much as me. Because at the end of the day, like,
What do they?
Huh?
What do they care?
No one's gonna care as much as me. I was about to say, cause like, I think I was thinking, and I've just been practicing like with reverting and stuff like that. We're practicing like my patience, my temper, like how I communicate things.
Yeah.
And I made a promise, you know, we have a guaranteed cutoff day for when we can ship out to get to my holidays. That day, nobody came in on time. And then for me, I'm like, you know, it don't matter to you if we get them on time. It's my name that's on the line. I made a promise. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's those conversations where we gotta get through. But like at the end of the day, nobody was there but me. And I didn't have many days and nights like that, so it's not strange. You know what I mean? But it is about for me, to make them care is finding out what they care about and appealing to that. You know what I mean? So like, at the end of the day, if all you care, if this is just a job to you, you want to make money, I'm like, bro, you don't want to make no money, bro. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of talk to you, like, hey, no, I don't make no money around here. You know what I mean? And if it's up to you about making me proud, it's positive words of affirmation. You do a great, bro. You know what I mean? But that comes with wearing them hats. Sometimes I need to talk to you like my brother. Sometimes I need to talk to you like a boss. But what is it say? It's all of that. It's all visualization. You know what I mean? I visualize a lot. What's your sign?
You're Aries.
Really?
Yeah. What's your fire? What's your sign?
Pisces.
A Pisces. When's your birthday?
March 1st.
Oh, March 29th.
March too?
March.
Yeah.
March Aries. She fire.
I visualize a lot, and it's also the same thing. Like, if it's so funny because you said like you step into the shoes. Now, if we had all these shoes here, this might be who I need to be to speak to this brother, who I need to be to be his manager. So I just pop through the shoes.
Yeah.
Everybody got different versions. All who I really am, but it's like I might bump up my words of affirmation with a certain person. I might bump up the sternness with a certain person. They're hard, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just really who do I need to be today? And who do I need to be today for this person in this moment? And just constantly just reflective of. That's the only way you really can have conversation with people. You know what I mean? It's like to be able to receive. There's been times my brother is really here. His energy is high. And I gotta receive it to understand that he's high in energy to then be able to like kind of be here to where now we meet in a good meeting. But if I just came in with all my energy, come in with all the energy, we clashing heads. You know what I mean? So it's like being able to be a listener informs what I'm gonna choose to say and what I'm gonna choose to do.
Yeah. I don't think people really understand that part of like, who do I need to be for you? How do I speak your language? How do I connect with you? Usually people are like, you just take me as I am.
That's who I am.
Right. This is how I am. This is who I am, and I'm authentic. But I think there's power in being adaptable.
Yes.
It's like there's still authenticity in it, and I love how you I saw it where it's like, oh, let me just bump this part up so that I can better connect. And so that you can better connect with me and we can understand one another. Like, that's power.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a baby brother. So I had to, like, you know what I mean? We people pleasers. And like, you always just like want to dance around and everybody smile. But like, when you kind of take that the negative off the people being a people pleaser, just doing whatever to make people happy, it is power. And like, oh, my fault. I got hype. But then
we was locked in.
It is power to like, take it off the negative parts of it, you know what I mean? Like the parts that I just want to make people happy and do whatever. You never say no. But when you realize what makes someone happy and how can I do that authentically? I want to meet you. I want to please you, make you happy, or whatever the case may be. But like, how can I do that in a way that doesn't take away from your change? You know what I mean? So like, that's when you sometimes say no, and it's like a real no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, can you make it to this birthday party? You think about it, you're like, well, I got this. No, actually, I can't make that work because I got to take my dog out. You know what I mean? It wouldn't make sense. Yeah. But the real consideration is considering. And when you apply that, you know what I mean? I feel like that makes you an unstoppable person. You can talk to anybody. You can be yourself in front of anybody because you listen and know what you need to do to like get through it.
Yeah, you connect with the person and the thing and the situation, and it's like it's a one-of-one. And I think that's actually like super important when it comes to building relationships, but being a leader, like in the part of like delegating. I think that's the thing where it's like I need to be able to focus on my zone of genius, right?
Yeah.
And I need to empower the person to sit in the seat that only they can sit in. Right? So I have a team of engineers, AI scientists, researchers, production, in manufacturing. Where's Carl at? But it's like, let me put you in your seat where you can excel and you can go deep in the thing that only you can do. You can do it better than me. And I think that's one of the things where it's like, people are really, I never want to be that person that's like just so deep into my ego where I'm like, I don't want nobody better than me. I think there was I think it's in The Art of War, it was like never outshine the master. Outshine me, baby, because we got places to be and things to do, okay? Like outshine me. I'm gonna actually shine you up, you know? I'm gonna speak life into you. I'm gonna pour into you. I'm gonna water you. Right? So that you can, like I'm a jeweler at heart. I'm gonna polish you up, baby. And we gonna shine together. I want you to be better than me. So that's one of the things that I just never really understood that. Cause it might be the master. You might see my name up on the door. Like I own the company. I started it. I'm the CEO. I'm leading it. But like, that's my, like when I talk to my team, I'm like, this your shit too. Okay?
Straight up.
It takes a village, okay? It takes a village. You talking about, this my baby, but it take a village. Yeah. So go ahead and like, this yours too. Like these are your hands. This is your mind that is in that. And that's one of the things that like excites me about Gildform, right? Where it's like, yeah, I started it. It was my vision. And now I have these like incredible minds that get to tool and work on it and make it bigger. And then also, one of the things that's really like fascinating to me is like I get to focus in my zone of genius, right? I don't need to be here and doing all of the things. I can't. Zone of genius. Like I can't. Like where do I excel at? So those like personal relationships and connections and building these relationships, I've formed really strong partnerships. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I was actually talking to someone here today about like the meaning of my name is like really, I think, universal in all different languages. But in Hindu, it's like this miracle of the universe, right? And so like that's the meaning, like Karishma or charisma. I'm like, well, how do I like lean into like what I feel like is my purpose to like, so to actually allow for whoever it is that I'm talking to, working with, building with, to like be that best version of themselves. And that's through these relationships. And it's like, I can't quite possibly do that if I'm doing all of the things. I need to focus on the things that only I can do. And that's something that like, I had to learn. Because I was used to doing all that. I'm a worker bee. You know? Like, we gonna get it done by any means necessary. And even still, I do a lot of those things. So I am the type of person and I'm the type of leader that I'm gonna roll up the sleeves and I'm gonna work. If we're down a man in production, I'm gonna be on production. If the floors need to get swept, I'm sweeping. Yeah. And that's something where it's like, I don't put myself above that when it comes to the hierarchy, because it's like, it has to get done. And we're going to get it done by any means necessary. And if I have to be the one to do it, we're gonna make it happen. But I'm always asking myself the question of like, am I in my zone of genius? Am I doing the thing that only I can do? And I think the first step is to like understand what that is. And I've learned that over time. I got my reps in. And the reps is like, oh, I formed this partnership. It worked out really well. They really liked it. You know, it turned out like it was also really something unique about the connection and the bond that we formed in this business deal and how we went there and all of that. So I'm paying attention and started to like reverse engineer me. And I'm like, what am I good at? What am I naturally inclined to? Right? Where it's like, okay, well, what does that mean to be like this person, charisma, charismatic, right? Like we talking to people, we building things, we're inspiring them. And it's like, well, how do I do more of that? And then even when it comes like to sales and marketing, like that's just my bag. Like I do that very well. So how do I create the opportunity to do more of that? And at the same time, I get to empower people that are phenomenal in engineering and in technology and UX, UI design or whatever it is, and they can go out and be great, and I'm gonna polish them up as they continue to like scale up the company and be the best versions of themselves. And I think that's like how we all win. That is the ultimate like vision and the goal for us.
So as you're speaking to like what is, like for me at the highest level, I feel like I'm a curator and strategist. Mm-hmm. If I had to define it as a zone of genius, then you know I will. What is your zone of genius, would you say? Is it the sales? Is it that space, or what is it for you?
Yeah, it's definitely like the sales, but I'm a creator.
Okay.
Right? So it's like I can create a piece of jewelry. I done made some decor. I created a whole tech company with people that are doing amazing things. right? You type in what you want, and then the product is created. You can hire from a global network of CAD designers, or you can generate the 3D model with AI and then go straight to production, and then it's made. And I created the manufacturing company. We got 3D printers, we got robots, we got automation, we got some amazing artisans that are putting it all together, making it happen, right? I created that. Right? So I think that's or I created a beautiful connection and relationship with a strategic enterprise brand and a partnership. Like those are like that, like creativity. So being a creator can mean many things. I don't want to get too like philosophical and out there, but that's just what it is for me. It's like, I'm just creating shit, creating opportunities, possibilities, like all of the things. But the biggest thing is like for me, creating that platform that allows for people to be the highest versions of themselves.
Okay.
And that platform in any day can be the actual technology platform. It could be the manufacturing company where we're building a workforce around hard good manufacturing using advanced technology and advanced manufacturing techniques. Or it could quite literally be the platform of the conversation that we're having today.
Okay. Amazing. What do you think? Yeah, what did you say?
You about to ask me the same question?
No, I'm here if you got that first. Yeah.
I was about to piggyback on something you said. I was trying to master, man. I think that's a big part about being a leader is, man, speaking life and water into people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think of the people below you. Like, to me, the same way you said, if Florida need to be white and China, I'm China. I work alongside. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But like, the funny thing is I tell my brother all the time, like, this is not my warehouse, it's yours. Organize it how you see fit. If it makes sense in your mind and you can explain it to the next employee, then do it. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And they ask me questions all the time, like, where is this? I'm like, I don't know. Ask him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like, how you were saying, like, this is yours. So this is your seat. You got the biggest office in here. Like, I don't need an office. I live up the street from the warehouse. Mm-hmm. I want you to feel comfortable being here because this is your space. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, my name is on the door, but like, you have some ownership in this as well. You know what I mean? I just think that's really important. A lot of people, I do know that that's a thing for a lot of people. Is like not giving people all the answers, all the tools, because they don't want them to surpass them. But it's like, now I want you to be everything you deserve to be, and if I can help you on that journey, then I'm gonna give you everything I got. You know what I mean?
And then what happens is like we blow the lid off together. Like then we all win. Like we all can eat. Like I think that's one of the things where it's like people look at it, it's like, oh, this is my piece of the pie. It's like, well, I look at this like a garden. Right? So if I'm eating, and I'm eating my piece of fruit, guess what's inside the fruit? A seed.
Yeah.
And guess what's gonna happen? You got a fruit too. And then guess what's inside that fruit? You got some seeds. So I'm planting my seeds, you plant your seeds, and then guess what happens? We grow together. And then also what happens out of that is like I get my little tree, and then I got more fruit and more seeds. And so it's like, that is really what we live in. That's abundance. There is no like, oh, like, you know, like this my piece of the pie. No, it's truly, it's a garden. And that's kind of even like how I look at the business from a business perspective. I think it's a mindset thing when it comes from like that sense of abundance, because I think that's the biggest thing is like I lose nothing by giving you something to like nourish and like really grow from. Yeah. I actually gained something. Yeah. Now we got more seeds. Yeah. And now we going up together. Yeah.
More people need to think like that though, but it could be a conditioning, mentally, environment. Once you said too, like just a daily intention to just cultivate yourself in that way to where you have that mindset and approach. And as I was speaking too, I'm wondering, well, really as we wrap, it's like, so there was a question about that some of the audience people had, and they was talking about, so when fear and uncertainty is around, like, what does like trust God actually look like for you? What does that really mean to you, trust God?
Whew, that's a good one. You go. You go.
You know, I just remember trusting God has been beautiful for me. Yeah. Even though I won't say that like any of the things that I've accomplished before were my doing. You know what I mean? It was, you know what I mean? But just trusting that it's something bigger than me. You know what I mean? Like controlling all this. Anything that I prayed for that I never received, it's either coming and I'm not ready for it yet, Or like, you know, what am I doing to even ask me these things?
Yeah.
Am I living my life in the righteous way? You know what I mean? Am I speaking properly? Am I acting properly? Am I behaving out of discipline? You know what I mean? Like all of those things. Like I try to do right first before I ask God for anything. You know what I mean? Like specifically, like, you know, like Islam is very structured. There's specific prayers. You know, we pray first. We give blessings to the prophet. You know what I mean? And then you ask. Mm-hmm. You repent, and then you ask.
Yeah.
You say sorry, thankful. You're thankful first, all these things before you ask for anything. And honestly, lately, all I'm asking for is another day, another opportunity. You know what I mean? Like my trust in God, everything I need will be given to me. You know what I mean? Whether that's the knowledge, whether that's the wisdom, whether that's the patience. You know what I mean? Like those non-tangible things. Everything worldly I can get on my own. You know what I mean? Like, I can go get it with those tools. But the other things are the things that I trust God to give me. You know what I mean? Patience, protection, and wisdom, and you know what I mean? Like all those things. And I don't think anything happened by mistake. You know what I mean? People I've met, or like things people choose to say to me. You know what I mean? Like throughout the day, and like stick with me. Things you've been saying. You know what I mean? Like. What did you say? What is it? Not Zone of Genius.
Oh, that one's.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even that, like I play the game all the time. You know what I mean? So like if you get like it's like a UAV jammer. You see it on a mini map. It's a specific area that just you know what I mean? Like so just stuff I can see what you're saying. So like just things that you hear that you carry with you throughout life. You know what I mean? Like for me, trusting God lately has just been. Prior to me reverting, bro, it was like all the good things that happened in my life. I took responsibility.
Word, okay.
So all the bad things that happened in my life, I took responsibility for. It's a lot of weight on my shoulders.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Malcolm X got this quote that's like, if I died doing nothing and I leave any good behind, all the good was due to Allah. Only the mistakes were mine. You know what I mean? So even if you take all the accomplishments away from me and I give this to my God, and that's weight off my shoulders regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I'm lighter now. And like if I make a mistake, then it was me. You know what I mean? And like if anything good happens, like they just that. You know what I mean? For me, it's been lighter. Life is lighter when I choose to trust God.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the only way to move.
That's so beautiful. I feel like, yeah, to your point, I feel like I would not be here if it weren't for God, right? And for me, I'm like, that's my North Star. And I also, like, I've through lived experience, so it's like, oh, if I'm experiencing fear or, you know, just any doubt or whatever the case is, I kind of go back to like the blessings that I've experienced through God, right? And so for me, I'm like, I got a long receipt book, okay? The receipts is heavy. They go a long way because I just like think about all the places that I've been, all of the things that I've experienced, and that is by way of God, right? And so I just kind of, if I'm ever like caught sideways, which happens, it happens. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, what are we doing? And then I just think like, oh wait, I always got through. We always like, and that's one of the things I like literally will just check my receipts of all the times that God has shown up, and not just showing up, but shown out. And that's one of the things too, where I'm like, my mind is not even big enough for what God has in store. I think that I have vision. I'm telling you, I'm like, yeah, I got this vision, I imagine, I write things, and God be like, watch this.
Yeah.
What's the meme when it be like, hold my beer? It's like, and that's literally what I be like, that's how I have experienced God.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I want this thing, and it's usually like bigger, it's better. It causes me to stretch and be the person that I believe that He created me to be. Right? And so if it's like, oh, if whatever it is that I prayed for, that I'm like, I want it really bad, and it doesn't come into, you know, it doesn't happen or it doesn't come into fruition, I kind of look at that and it's like, well, I think any like form of rejection is God's protection. Because honestly, like I said, I'm like, God, my relationship with God, I'm like, God, don't play about me. And so if something is not in alignment with my frequency or where I need to be, then I trust that it's all for that, like, for the highest good.
Yes.
Like, I truly do. I mean, like, something like I do get caught sideways. But then I just go back to that of like, okay, wait, hold on. If this is true, if I really believe this, well, then who do I need to be? What type of like mental pattern, what sort of mental matrix do I need to have to like really own that knowing? Because I'll be like, I know that God got my back. And then I'm just like, God, well, why? You know, like, it's not happening quick enough. It's not, the thing is not thinking the way that we talked about. What's going on? And I think that's where the thing is like, okay, well, it's a process, right? And it's going through that journey, and it's like this mental matrix that I kind of like go through. But it always comes back to the knowing, like the full body knowing that it always works out. Even the bad. I'll be like, dang, this is wild. Why I gotta be God's strongest soldier? like, why I gotta be the strongest soldier, you know? And then I realized that there's a reason for that, right? And there's a blessing and there's beauty in that. And I just become more of the person that I'm like was meant to be. And for me, like, I don't know, I just look at every like, even if it's like a negative thing, I'm like, or a negative experience, and I feel like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna come back from this or whatever it is. I always make it through to the other side.
Always.
Like, I'm always on the other side of that. And then what happens is I'm always better for it. That's the crazy thing. That's the crazy thing. It's like, dang, not only did I make it through, you know, we survived.
Exactly.
But also I'm better, I'm bigger, I'm wiser. I'm more in alignment with the person that I want to be, the person that I feel like I'm destined to be.
And that's the knowing, like, you trusting God is like, you know it's gonna work out always. You have a record where it always, you can see like I went through this and okay, it worked out for my good, or I grew in this way, or this relationship happened, and I think once you get to that point of trusting God continuously, it's just like, you can take those risks and you know it's gonna work out. You're able to really have bigger faith. Like, what's the biggest thing that I could really do? And you can step into it knowing that, okay, I have one life, I want to take advantage of this moment. I want to really, if I really trust God, I mean, ultimately, there are like, I just gotta push it to the limit. I gotta, let's go hard. What is fear? Like, it's non-existent. It should be not even in my psyche. So, yeah, that's powerful. Like, both things you both said, and also, yeah, no, it's great. So I think the last question is, I'm wondering, what's one thing that you did well in this year that you want to take into 2026, and maybe something where, you know, it didn't work, you want to get better at in the next year, just to really level things up for you, and that'll be the final thing.
There was something you were saying with recently, not recently, you were just saying about like even the bad things, you know what I mean, where it's like, I don't know how we get to this. It's also another visual thing. But you know how like when you stretch a rubber band, you can see in the middle where it's about to break, but it's like, if you had some attached to it, propel it, you know what I mean? That's how it feels sometimes when I'm on to the worst. It's like right after.
Being stretched.
I'm getting stretched to the limit right here.
Yeah.
But if I just got stretched right here, I'm only gonna move forward this way.
You just went
So
the furthest you ever gonna
I went
go.
the furthest I ever was gonna go. You know what I mean? And like, that's how it feels. It's like, God is tested. It'll be tests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How bad you want it? You willing to get this up? You willing to have discipline here? You willing to go through a day like this? Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, and you know, and most, you know, in the Bible and the Quran and all that, there's tests, there's trials of how much do you believe? Where is your faith? You know what I mean? What will make you stop believing in this and me?
I know.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I do think in trusting God, the word trust is devotion. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I don't get it. It was something you said.
Nah,
Something that I did in 2025 that I want to carry in 2026 is, I feel like I've become a better person for myself and to the people around me. You know, like, it's been times where I forgot birthdays, it's been times where I missed out on things, it's been times where like, somebody can say a whole sentence to me, and I'm like, what did you say? Just cause like, either I just care about what I got going on, or my mind somewhere else, I'm too zoomed out. I definitely, on a personal level, want to carry that in. You know what I mean? I feel like I have New Year's resolution, maybe like 2 months early. I want to keep carrying that, you know what I mean? I care a lot about what I'm putting into my body, what I'm putting into my mind, what I'm putting out into the world. Just the work. I'm so excited about the work, you know what I mean? Like, it's something about being hands-on, you know what I mean? That's a big part. You know, when you don't get to touch like what you're doing, it's something about when it's just digital where you're like, I don't feel like I really did anything.
Yeah, it's not the same.
When you just in the house, you work from home, you ain't talk to nobody, you know what I mean? But like being able to go to work, and like today I went to work, my nieces and nephews in there, like in the office space while my brother in the warehouse, you know what I mean? Like came, brought my nephew spent the night, you know what I mean? And I brought him to see his dad when we chopped it. I look at his dad's story, he's like, my boys. Just a picture of me, him, and my brothers, you know what I mean? It's just like, that feeling, I want to continue to grow on that, you know what I mean? That's my foundation, is like working with my family and working across the board. Like I don't really care to work up. I don't want to, like we get a collaboration with Gucci or something cool, but like that's not what I'm in for. You know what I mean? I want to work with like my best friends, I want to work with my family. I just want to continue to like, man, share that piece of the pie, you know what I mean? If people be like, this is my piece of the pie. It's a whole pie.
Yeah, it's like a pie.
You know what I mean? Like, you also got the whole pie as well. You don't want to share anything.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I just want to get back to being resourceful. I want to be a resource. I want to be a vessel. You know what I mean? So anything I can amplify, anything that I can give opinion on, anything, you know what I mean? All of that. Just, as you were saying, like, being impeccable with my word. You know what I mean? Things I choose to say and my word in the sense of, like, keeping my word. You know what I mean? I do something doing it. You know what I mean? I also think that in relation to religion, like it's about like keeping your word and being like having impeccable word that helps with your blessing.
It does. You know what I mean?
Like, you said you're gonna do what you said you're gonna do. You did what you said you was gonna do. You know what I mean? So just trying to be. I don't care to be perfect anymore. I used to want to be perfect. I just want to be. If anything, man, like when niggas just look at me. Remember me, I wanted to be that I tried like 100%. I gave everything I had every time. It might not have landed, but boy, was he trying. You know, I want to be someone that gave effort. You know what I mean? I don't want any moment to be wasted anymore. I feel like I wasted it now.
Yeah, die empty, like.
Man,
Yeah.
For sure.
That's beautiful. I love that. For me, I feel like 2025, I really was like in my zone of genius. Like I was conscious of it.
You gotta trademark that.
Yeah.
I swear.
I was conscious of it. Like I was mindful. But was I always 100% of the year in my zone of genius? No. But I was conscious of it.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I saw opportunities. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me empower these people to be better and go faster and further and deeper into these respective lanes of the business, right? From Gildform.
Yeah.
And Gildform, actually, I mean, like Gildform's massive. Like in terms of like the thing that we're up to, the thing that we are doing, which is revolutionizing how creators and brands are creating products. There's never been a time before the time that we're in, the time that we created, that is enabling people to just go in and type in the vision that they have and see it right in front of them. Right? Like that's crazy, right? Like it's revolutionary. And so I understand that that's a big vision, that's a big task. Like I always say we're doing something that's never been done before. And I also understand who I am in this doing that's never been done before, right? Doing it as a Black woman and rooted in the city of Detroit. And then, beyond that, it's like, okay, well, who do I need to be to really take it all the way through? And so for this year, I was thinking about like how I've been in my zone of genius and the moments. And I just pay attention. I'm like, man, like things actually went way up when I was more in that area and focused in that space and really embodying my own creativity and being that creator of these opportunities, of these relationships, of, all of those things. And I feel like I've been 2025, very much so a hermit. Like I don't go outside. People be like, Karissma, I do not be outside. I be locked in at the factory, getting stuff done. Okay, we on a computer, we doing the things, taking the meetings, doing all the things, traveling. Yeah, I'm traveling, I'm doing all the things. So I'm like locked in. I would say that I think now I'm at the point where I think it's important to open up, right? To like share the experience, share the story, be in community. And so that's something that I want to push myself for. I'm very much so Aries and a fire sign and like, but I'm a bit of an introvert. Like, and I'm like, I have really good one-on-one connections and I'm just like, I'll be locked in and I'm just doing my thing. But I also see that the value in like expanding myself, like getting to be that highest version of self through community. And it's like, people be like, oh, there's no such thing as like true self-made, right? It's the people that you're in community with. It's the people that's lifting you up. And so people see like, oh, Karissma, Forbes 30 under 30, featured in Forbes, like got these partnerships under the belt, did these accomplishments. But it's also like, I stand on the shoulders of giants.
That's good to know.
Like big giants that are lifting me up every single day. And so that's the thing where it's like, I want to continue to create opportunities to bring on more giants, right? Like, and let's continue to like build together. So I think for me, 2025, just to kind of close the loop on that, is like just community, like building community and doing that more. I'm probably still gonna be really inside, you know, but then a little open, a little more open, and creating. I think it's really interesting because at the end of the day, we all get to create the reality that we want to live in, like create the circumstances and the situations. I know it sounds like it's impossible, but really at the end of the day, you can create that circumstance. Okay. You just gotta like work toward it. And so I'm really excited about that. And then also just being more in my zone of genius. Like, who do I need to hire so that I can get that off my plate to like focus on the thing that only I can do? And then at the end of the day, like we all go up. So I'm really excited about what that's looking like because we got more things, more innovations coming through. And I think it's important. We got to be in flow, in frequency. And so I want to be in that flow, my own frequency, so that I can continue to just be the best version of myself. And then in doing that, it's contagious. Like, it is incredibly contagious when you are in flow and you are vibrating at this highest frequency and being the best version of yourself. Everybody around you starts to embody that. And so I just feel like I have that responsibility where I'm like, oh, it's time to level up.
Yes.
And so that's where I'm at.
That's what you're doing. You're 2026, leveling up, staying consistent, up in the frequency. So I just really appreciate you both genuinely for this, coming out, having a convo, about perseverance, vision, entrepreneurship, and hope everybody out here was able to get something from it, a gem, some motivation, just a turn for your year too. So yeah.
We've been locked in.
That's it. Thank y'all for real.
Hey, we was locked in.
It was us.
All right, cool. Thank y'all. That's starting. Wow. Appreciate you, G.